morning, McKenzie County, and welcome to the Living in McKenzie County Podcast. We're actually filming today, a beautiful day, October 8th in McKenzie County. You will be receiving this podcast and our casual conversation long form in wherever you watch and catch your podcasts on October 21st. So we're not too sure what the weather will look like by that point in time, but today it's beautiful. And we are in season 2, episode 4. And our topic today is the McKenzie County Ag Expo. And so I have a group of people with me today. We're excited to get into a very fun, casual conversation. It might get a little out of control fun, just how pre-recording has gone so far, but we're super excited about it. And so I'm going to do this format just a little differently. I'm going to introduce everybody. And I think what we're going to do is just really kick back and talk about what the Ag Expo is, what it means to our community, and take it all the way back to the very beginning and why the community invested in the McKenzie County Ag Expo. And I probably will spend a little time on that before we go around the room with introductions, but I want to bring this part of the conversation back many times because it's so easy to forget history. It is so very easy. And we're always trying to communicate very transparently with the public, but also very accurately. And so for those who were not here, it's been almost 10 years ago now since we started talking about the project and the need for it. Really the reason the Ag Expo moved forward and was a priority on a county level is because the funding that was used to build the Ag Expo, our gross production tax, is a tax paid by the oil and gas industry, and they pay those taxes because they need communities that their employees want to live in and communities that their employees want to be a part of. And so the Rough Riders Center was the first big community facility, and right along behind it, we saw the holes and the gaps in that facility and the places that we needed to be able to plug in. I don't know how Kubal how he refers to it, but really anything that involves dirt and livestock. Like the Rough Riders Center doesn't do those things. And those things are a big part of our community, and we'll spend time talking about that as well. So real briefly, just to go around the room, who we have with us today is Jess Hollenbeck, and Jess is with Lund Oil.
Correct.
Marketing director and probably herder of all good cats out at Lund Oil and all the projects. And I'll let Kubal talk more about, when I said we need to get 4 people around the table to talk about the Ag Expo, Kubal selected the people that we have here talking about it. So we will definitely give you an opportunity to talk more about what the Ag Expo means to the employees of Lund Oil and really what Lund Oil means to the community as well, because Lund Oil is always there for the community. So I'm going to go around the room and introduce, and then I'm going to kick back with a question, and I feel like it'll be a lightning round of funny things. So next we have Chris Kubal with us. I think the community refers to Chris as Kubal, and Ag Expo director and also Ag Expo Foundation director. And when we start talking about it, we'll probably talk about the whys of the Ag Expo and its sister partner, the foundation, and just how that opportunity or that structure has allowed you to do so much more out there. So thanks for being here, Chris, and for inviting your guests.
Heck yeah.
Last, we have Howdy Lawlar with us, and Howdy's wearing quite a few hats today. County Commission Chairman, and you were also on the commission when the Ag Expo was built.
Yep, we were. I was happy to be part of that. It was a long process it was the first project I really was in, from the very first pre-design stage all the way up to actually cutting the ribbon. It was the meetings and design. I've never experienced that many meetings to get to what the building, to see it on paper and then have the architects and everybody, engineers, all get involved in the community. We had more than just a few of us on that board. I think there was 18 or 20 of us on them meetings. And to see it to where it's at today it's kind of a surreal project, I guess, to see it from start to finish, like I've been able to be involved in it.
Big process, lots of input, which is the way public processes should be. So, and then also foundation president. You serve as the foundation president currently.
Yep.
And lastly, Lawlar Angus is, I don't even know what a Big Five sponsor is. So Kubal will talk about that, but you're one of the Big Five sponsors. Yeah. So I think we'll certainly talk about that as well. The thing I appreciated when I reached out to Chris, because you've been under operation 2.5 years now?
28 months this month.
Was it to the month? So I think last year when we came in and talked a little bit about what's there to do in Watford City and McKenzie County, the Ag Expo was a part of that conversation. But really, we need to sit down and talk about the facility. Every other month, our office, in partnership with the JDA, so City, County, Community, and Economic Development, we host a employee orientation or community orientation, but we reach out to our large employers and they send their newer employees to the community. And I'm always amazed. People will say, I've been in the community for 6 months, but they haven't been into the Rough Rider Center. They haven't been into the shooting sports, the Sportsman's Complex, and they haven't been out to the Ag Expo. So if you have people that are out here and they're on the, they're in their vehicle, they're driving and they're listening to the podcast. If they haven't been out to the Ag Expo, what do they need to know about the Ag Expo?
We're awesome. No, we do it all. We go from dirt to motorsports to rodeo, equine to weddings to conferences to banquets. If you dream it, we can try it. It's pretty cool. We've tried a few things that haven't worked. We're revamping a few things. 28 months we've been the only indoor race cars. We've been the only indoor motocross. We've been the only NTPA truck and tractor pull in a 4-state region. We're the only place where where the kids are able to show their livestock inside all summer long, in air conditioning, never go outside. Grandmas and grandpas can sit there throughout the whole show and sale, never get hot and have to go home. We've just broken so many glass ceilings. It's just crazy what we're doing out there right now. We just brought in the monster trucks, brought in 6 monster trucks right off of Monster Jam. The closest show you're going to see like that is Billings, Montana, or Fargo, North Dakota. I mean, it's just what we're doing for the region out here is just crazy fun. I mean, just fun. And we need about 72 more weekends because we're that full all the time now.
Mm-hmm. So people are listening, and the response I get when people see the facility is like, this is a county of 15,000 people and a city of 6,500 people. How does this facility land here? How did this facility come to be? And also then the next question is, I mean, in a nutshell, is why was this facility a priority? And Howdy, maybe you can take the lead on this question because, the county commission invested in this and expects a return on that investment. And that's not always in the form of profit. It's also times a lot of other things associated with livability and community connection. So can you talk a little bit about the prioritization of that project?
Well, I think the main priority was our old fairgrounds had served its purpose. We had tried, the 4-H kids. I mean, we're the futures of kids, and we're an agriculture community. So we started to sit down and look at we're running, I don't even remember the exact numbers, but the steer numbers, all of our livestock numbers had increased so high, we were outgrowing our facility. And every year we were fighting with, okay, it's supposed to be 100 degrees out. So we were moving, and you would know this because you have your kids are involved in it too. We're trying to move a show up. Well, then we're trying to keep on a schedule, and you have a schedule set for the fair. Well, then you have grandmas and grandpas that want to come, and they're like, well, now they move from 9 to 8, or what's going on? And then we'd have a storm, and we're trying to move cattle around and do stuff. And that, I have to be honest, was kind of the push for it. But then when we started sitting down and talking about it, it came down to we have more people in the community than just agriculture. We've got to have a facility that we can, I don't mean it disrespectful, but the motorheads, they like the cars, they like the trucks, they like other things than just agriculture. So we had to sit at the drawing board for many, many months to try to figure out how can we build something universal for everything, but have it in one location. And as you see what Chris had just spoke about earlier, we put on the shows for the monster trucks, the derbies, and the rodeos and livestock. And it's just kind of evolved. It really evolved with the kids, as I have to be honest, as a commissioner and the board talking about it. we really wanted something to keep the 4-H kids involved, and it was outgrowing. So then we're like, okay. And then as you see today, all the events Chris puts on out there, we kind of have to pull him back a little bit on some of his ideas, I'll be honest with you. But he has great ideas, and that's what we need. We need something thrown at us, and then we bounce it around, and we're like, and we've tried things. Hasn't been a successful event at times, but then we're like, okay, can we tweak it, or do we just step away from it? So, but the push was that, I have to be honest, was the 4-H kids. And the grandmas and grandpas really like to come see their grandkids. And it was 100 degrees. They didn't want to sit there and do it. And now they're able to come out there and sit in there and enjoy it. But yet they can go out and walk through the carnival and do their stuff. But yet they can come back in where it's cool. And they got concessions out there so they can have coffee or a sandwich or something that's inside. And I think we get a lot of people just sitting around, visiting with people that they get time to because it's cool. And I think that is a huge asset, is the temperature control for everything that goes on out there.
I think that what I noticed, and we have a 9th year 4-Hers, so we spent numerous years in the old facility, and then being in the program too. You and I were in the program at the same time, but you can tolerate that a lot more when you're 15 years old. That temperature and that unpredictability, and than we can now. But what I noticed that first year, cut the ribbon and showed some livestock. And not only did we see numbers like, the previous barn held 30 hogs, and that year we went in with 80 hogs into that year. But the climate control, the comfort, it brings generations together. So, and I think also it brings non-agricultural people out to be able to experience really the foundation, what was the foundation of this community for the first 100 years, no doubt, and will continue to be, which is agriculture. But it provides such a great opportunity to educate the general public in agriculture. And so, Kubal, could you talk a little bit about the Egg in the Classroom that you host and the petting zoos? I don't even want to call them petting zoos. The opportunities for non-agricultural families to experience that animal connection and that agriculture connection.
Yes, we actually just had Egg in the Classroom. It's kind of becoming a yearly thing. We invite all the kids in McKenzie County from 2nd to 5th grade this year. We had over 700 kids come through. We bring in all our animals. We've got a beef calf. We got a longhorn heifer. We've got horses. We've got mini horses. We've got donkeys. We've got sheep. We've got goats. We've got dairy cows. All the way down to the rabbits and the kittens and the puppies, who everybody loves those the most. And then we go on the other side. They get milk and cookies. They get to do a little bit of a craft, but they get to climb around. Hagen's brings down equipment for us. They get to climb around a tractor. They get to climb around a loader. They get to see essentially what these farmers are using to produce the food that feeds everybody. They get to go inside the classrooms then, and they get to learn about soybeans. They get to learn about self-sustainability. They get to learn about where honey comes from, where milk comes from. It's not just, we had one kid, ask, the question was, where does water come from? Well, the sink. Well, it's got to get there somehow. Where does milk come from? Well, the grocery store. Well, how does it get to the grocery store? Where does it actually come from? So we're really taking that. We're 3 generations now removed from the farm. We're really taking that bridge and teaching these kids, where does your food come from? So that's a really fun thing for us to have. It's always fun to bring in kids, especially when you got animals in there. But like I said, that's an annual event. Now happens every first Thursday of October. Kind of starts off our pumpkin pick and palooza event. And then we open that up to the public, which we had another 300 people come through, bring in their kids that weren't able to come in earlier because they were younger. And, we got babies all the way up to seniors coming through, just checking out the animals that night. And really just kind of, getting their roots back to agriculture. Like I said, we're generations from the farm now.
And maybe this is an opportunity for you to spend some time and lead this part of the conversation a little bit. When I called and said we want to spend an hour to 90 minutes talking specifically about the Ag Expo, who do you want at the table? And you were very intentional in saying, I want sponsors at the table, because without them, we are not able to program what we what we can otherwise program.
Right.
So can you talk a little bit about sponsorship out at the Ag Expo? You've always done a great job of recognizing your sponsors, but can you talk even more so, not just the recognition, but also what those gifts and support does for your ability to program things like Kitty Days, all the other things, all the things.
So we run off of sponsorship dollars off the events we put on. So the Ag Expo Foundation will put on this next coming year. We've got 22 of our own events scheduled right now. We're not doing them events off of thousands of people coming through the doors. We just don't have the population for that. So we're putting on these shows that you only see in a large metro area. We're putting them on here, but because we can have such great sponsors, we can actually bring them here. We don't have to travel to Fargo. We don't have to travel to Billings, Rapid City, or even farther to get them the really cool shows. And we got 2 of the big 5 here. I call them the big 5. We've got 2 of them, anybody over $25,000 for the year and higher, we call them our big 5. So we got Lund Oil here. We've got Lawlar Angus. And that list is the Legion. They're a huge sponsor for us. Red Rock is a huge sponsor, and United Quality is a big sponsor. But not only that, we've got 18 yearly sponsors that tag along with us, and that checkbook's no joke either. And then we've got 12 that jumped on with us for the Pro Rodeo. I mean, we're looking at $500,000 in sponsorship that runs through this place in a year. But because of that, we get to bring in the kids for Ag in the classroom. We get to bring in, when the 4-H'ers need the building, the foundation covers the cost. When the junior high school rodeo teams come in, they want to put their rodeos on. Between the fair board and the foundation, the whole facility's, the cost is covered. Some other nonprofits groups jump on board and the foundation pays for them. But without the sponsors, we just can't do what we do here. I'm not going to lie, bring in 6 monster trucks from a big show like the Monster Jam isn't cheap. But like I said, it's really cool what they do for us. We honor them all year long, especially the big ones. We got them up on you get a sign across the back of the big barn. You get on the billboard. You're on the pickup. You cruise around everywhere. We're starting to sell light poles out there, so you can get your name up on the light pole so everybody that comes through gets to see it. And the one really cool thing with everything we're doing out there is 43% of the people that have come out there throughout this year already are outside of McKenzie County. So we're a regional destination. So these sponsors are bringing in more people into Watford. With 43% people coming in, now we're a tax. We helped out the city. We help out Alexander. We help out, with between tourism and economic development. They're buying groceries here. They're buying food here. They're putting heads in beds, as the mayor would say. So it's really cool what's going on with the sponsors. Also with the sponsors, we've got a waiting list. Like I said, this checkbook is no joke what it takes to get your name on the board, and we have a waiting list. People are wanting, the community is grasping what we're doing and helping us run with it. I don't even know what to say besides this is an awesome thing with what we got going on with sponsors.
Very cool. Very, I don't want to say unique, but I just think in this community, the businesses also understand that with our population, without them, we just don't have the programming capacity and ability that we do with them. So I would like to take a little time. We've kind of just been cruising around Jess here a little bit, but Jess, can you take some time to talk about Lund Oil and maybe even the generations? Like my mind goes back to Don in Virginia, and there's, right. It is a multi-generational business, but you guys have always also captured in your current marketing and branding just the essence of what the business is, which I think is so cool. So can you take a little time and talk about Lund Oil, and when you're in the office talking about community support, what does that conversation sound like to Lund Oil?
Right. So Lund Oil has been around for over 40 years. They started in Keene initially and then moved to Watford shortly after that. So Don in Virginia first, right? And then Jason, and now Brady runs it. So a lot of you are familiar with Brady, right? You guys get to sit with him and, in your meetings and different things. But it's just really important for Lund to be a part of the community. And we see the growth and things that have, come to our county and how we can help that is just so important to us, especially employee retention, right? We talk about that at all of our meetings. And at the Ag Expo, not only do we have our Christmas parties there, our employees go there for all the different events that you guys host, but also it just gives them an opportunity or a space to go check out, whether it's, like you said, the livestock shows, the monster truck. Some of them are just safety meetings, right? Because we're in the oil and gas space as well. So, but we do love it. And I mean, it's just really great that McKenzie County has taken the time and money and put it towards our community where people can enjoy that. I mean, we have top of the line facilities here. There's no doubt about that. But it wouldn't be possible, same thing without our sponsors, but also with people like Chris or Howdy that, he's out farming. Well, he's done, I guess now is what he says, but for the year. But these people, well, even you, Juanita, with the economic development committee and stuff, those are all important pieces, important parts of the community. And without that, we just wouldn't be where we are today.
I know that when you talk about that alignment piece and the contribution that our businesses make and our community facilities make, we are watching in a real, I don't want to call it an upended economy, but a really interesting economy right now with where we know the price of oil. We should be feeling a slowdown right now, and we should be seeing tax collections declining. And yes, our GPT is declining just because that's based off of price and production, but every other part of that equation continues to just go like this and go like this. And it's because of everybody getting in the boat together and everybody rowing the same direction and being in alignment. So
right. I think there's something to be said about that, though. There's not a lot of places that are like McKenzie County. Not that there isn't the push and the pull behind all of those things, but here everybody's willing to work together, and that is huge. So,
yeah, you don't see that anywhere. We go to these national meetings, and they get to our side of the round table. And it's like, I don't really want to, toot our own horn here, but the commissioners back us, the city planning back us. The forward thinking that McKenzie County has doesn't happen anywhere else in the U.S. Everybody sits back kind of reserved, waiting for things to come to them, where McKenzie County goes out and pushes for it. Hey, let's go let's get them to come to us. Let's move, let's rock and roll and make this happen. So like I said, sitting on a national level now with what we've got here, just to know what we got here and what everybody else is lacking is incredible. Even, just our neighbors around us. This facility shouldn't be McKenzie County. It should be, and I could name about 5 other counties that this place should be in, and just North Dakota itself. And they're just struggling because they don't have that forward thinking like it is here.
I think a lot of it is what I marvel about it and sponsoring something like this that we do is we're wanting people to move to the community. We want them to bring their families. We just don't want the bosses or the workers coming in for 2 weeks or whatever their shift is and going home. We're saying, hey, we have something for everybody. Look at the high school we have, the elementary schools we have. You go to the Rough Rider Center. That's the sports complex. You got the hockey. They do cornhole all year out. They do stuff out there. They have the swimming and everything. But then we also have the other side. So it's a diverse deal, and it's like you said, we're all headed in the same direction. We've grown, but we still have that small town attitude as a community. You marvel at the benefits that a lot of people don't know some of these people, but something tragic happens, and the whole community steps up. It doesn't matter that you just moved here a year ago or 2 years ago. Everybody works together as a group. And I think that's what is a big push to why our community is successful. And what we do is we want people here. We're working together as a group, but we want you to feel like, hey, we're just an extended part of your family. You might be from Texas. You might be from somewhere else, and they're moving here and they're wanting to come here and buy a house and be invested in the community. And like Lund Oil's been here forever, and they've never changed. They've invested, and they probably had opportunities to go somewhere else and do something, and they're still here. Why? Because they invested in the community and they believe in the community. And I think it goes around the board, from the city council to the commissioners and so on, economic development. We are invested in what we have here, and we want people to come here. And the doors are open, and we're welcoming them into the community. And I think that's a big drive why we are where we are today.
I think you're right. I love driving by I don't love it. I appreciate the fact that places in the county and places in the city too, where you used to drive by and it was man camps. Those have been pulled off. Those have been replaced with single family housing, multifamily housing. Like, we have matured and we've done it rapidly. It's been a real fast conversion. I mean, this all started, 15 years ago? And so it's been a rapid conversion, but to your point, Howdy, it's been in a positive direction for a community that's going, that people call home now. So Dad, busted some trails and did the winter thing in the man camp, campers, and then it was able to bring the family. So I think that shared vision has served us well and really carried the community a long ways.
Yeah, because when Dad came here, there wasn't much to do. It was like, well, we've got 2 restaurants and we got a couple bars. I'm not moving my family here. Well, now we've got opportunities are endless for your kids. Yes. I still remember it was probably 6, 7, 8 years ago. But it was, I think the Rough Rider Center had been open for 2 years. And a gentleman with One Oak, at the time, the Buccaneer Skills Center, we were still doing the round table, the skills initiative, but there was no brick and mortar yet. And One Oak was there as part of that skills initiative. And the gentleman from One Oak walked into the room and looked around and he's like, I now believe that we can recruit the workforce that we need. Before, he said, I was so concerned because, do you want to come up to North Dakota and, deal with winter 6 months out of the year? Well, now you can do that because we have the Ag Expo, we have the Rough Rider Center, we have all of these indoor climate controlled spaces that people can really appreciate. And we have all the programming to go with it. Like, I honestly think we probably have more programming than communities within driving distance of us that have 10, 15, 20 times the population that we do easily. So I don't want to, though, gloss over Howdy. Lawlar Angus is a sponsor too, and you talked a little bit about it, but talk a little more about it because that commitment is substantial. Why is that a priority and important to your business?
Oh, I mean, it's the agriculture side, but I want people to stay here. I don't want them to come and go. And it's something, we have certain things they take pride in. And when you can invest in something that can serve everything that it can provide out there, it's something me and Dad, we're still together. I have the fortune of farming with my dad and ranching with him. And so it's just something we sat down and had a heart-to-heart conversation about, and we visited about it. And it's something we're like, that's something we'll invest in because we believe in it. If we don't believe in something, we kind of will balk a little bit, but this is something we believe in. And it starts with leadership. Chris has done I'm going to use Chris, but not Kubal, but Chris has done a great job out there, and his team has done a phenomenal job. They get pulled in a lot of directions when they're doing things, but it starts with the leadership out there and the welcoming they have out there and having people come in. And it's just something in the community. I believe in Watford. I've been here 5th generation out here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not leaving. I hope my kids someday come back and want to farm and ranch when they're done with college and stuff. But I'm looking at it that I pass and the grandkids it's still going and it's growing and doing more things. It's where I live. It's my roots, and I don't want to. I remember the days driving down Main Street and maybe seeing 2 cars. You remember that? Big thing growing up, drag Main. Was it all high school kids driving down Main Street? And to drive down the streets and see them full of different cars from different states or whatever, they're not going anywhere. And you see the same ones, but they're investing in the community and like the parts stores and everything else and all that. And so that's why we did it, is we just believe in our community and what it can do for our community and expanding our community and showing that, hey, we are agriculture, but we also want to bring the people that have no idea about agriculture. We want them to have something to do out there. And that goes into the motocross and all that other stuff, because it's amazing. You go to them events, if you haven't been to them, to see the people there and as crazy as they get. I was in there for the dirt bike race, and the crowd is crazy. I mean, it's a compliment to them, but they just
energized.
It's just fun to
excited.
listen to them, and they have contests and people get into it. And I mean, it's just a phenomenal deal to see that side of it, that you don't have to go to Fargo to a motocross, or you don't have to go to Billings or wherever they have them. I think Fargo does have them sometimes. So that's what I think of as the only place. But I mean, they might have them other places. But to have people here saying, man, I can take my whole family here and I don't have to drive 6 hours and get a hotel room. I can go there for the evening and, you know, and go home that night. And so that's what I look at is why we invested in it, is because we believe in it. And I believe in Watford City, or McKenzie County, I should say. And I want us to stay the same way, regardless of what the flux of the GP or whatever's going on. I want people to stay here where they're at.
So one more, maybe a little follow-up, because I think it's important. We talk about legacy. We talk about multi-generational. We have a lot of people that are landing here in their first generation. They've been here 15 years, but they are calling it home. And now their kids that are in the school system are calling it home. What does it mean to your boys to watch you invest? What do you think they're learning from that? Because we talk about that at our house. And what is that next generation of leadership going to be cultivated out of? So can you talk a little bit about what that means for your next generation to see your investment and commitment in the community?
I think it just shows them, like, if you want something to succeed, sometimes you have to help out to make it succeed. And sometimes it comes out of your own pocket. And when you can do that, you're not looking for the return on yourself. I always look at what you invest in today. I'm looking at 2 or 3 generations down the road, because what you invest in, we might not see it all. And do I see the growth of where this is going? I might not live long enough to see the final growth of it. I mean, you never know. That's what I'm trying to show the boys is, hey, set your roots. If you believe in it, you have to sometimes budget it out and say, hey, this is what we got to do. And that's how I'm working with them, and they're getting to see the growth. I mean, my 2 kids are in the middle school, and I tell them, hey, that was where I went to high school, 7 through 12, and now it's 6th, 7th, and 8th. And they're like, really, Dad? I mean, so they're seeing that, the growth and everything, and they're starting to see, like, yeah, you know, and they're friends with people that, they have friends that come out that don't understand agriculture at all, and they get to go with the horses, and they're bringing friends out, and I think they're starting to see that investment that, hey, you're not doing it just for yourself, you're doing it for everybody else in the community. And so that's what we're trying to push to them is, like, don't look at today, look at down the road what it can do for when you get older.
Yeah, and one thing with the sponsors, too, that I kind of forgot to mention is we're bringing in these top-notch, world-renowned shows. $20 gets you in the door. You go, we were just in a meeting in Sioux Falls here 2 weeks ago. They're charging $65 just to park a car to try to make their bottom line work. We had a $250,000 rodeo. $20 got you in the gate. Because of the sponsors, we're able to keep it so it's family orientated. We're not going to drain your pocketbook to come to this stuff. I think that's huge, especially, you know, like I got a wife and 2 kids. $100 is not that much for a weekend of entertainment out there. So, I mean, that's one thing, too. The sponsors help. We are able to keep our prices low. We don't have to charge for parking. We don't have to charge to do this, charge to do that. It's $20 you're in, away we go.
I am really glad that you brought that up, Kubal, because it is noticeable when you go to a lot of other places, and the sponsor's ability to lower barriers to participation, get your family out there, enjoy the day. Yeah, thank you for bringing that up, because it's not just in the ability to host the events, but also keep them affordable for families. Mm-hmm. So thank you for bringing that up. I feel like we should definitely spend some time, and maybe we should make it a list. The highlights and the lowlights. Like, let's just talk a little bit about maybe some things that you analyzed after the fact and decided we're not going to go that direction. And I'll be the first to say what the Rough Rider Center learned is the Rough Rider Center can't do concerts. Like, that was just something that the Rough Rider Center learned. So let's talk a little bit about maybe the things you're not doing again, but let's really focus on what has been a success, what you see that will become an annual tradition after 28 months of operations, and then maybe some things to look forward to coming up this year as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, I wouldn't say we're never going to do something again. We're probably just going to revamp it kind of hard. Our highlight, that monster truck show, it's like a kid in a candy store watching trucks smash cars and jump over stuff. That's probably our one of our biggest shows throughout the year. As far as attendance wise, I mean, we actually had to turn people away at the door this year. I mean, we've sold out. We've never had to actually say stop coming in. We're full. So that's probably our biggest one. And that'll be an annual event now. Now, next year, we just voted last night. These guys, the foundation, voted that we're actually bringing back the 406 bikes that flip through the air, fly through the air. They're going to come with the monster trucks next year. So that's going to be a show out of the park. We go back to, and this one really just breaks my heart, but we had the City Slicker Showdown. Didn't go quite like we thought it was. We were going off that urban cowboy theme, and it was a cool idea. The girls still want to do it. The team still wants to do it. It's just we took a butt kicking on that one. But like I said, I mean, you learn, you move on. We go back like, okay, what part do we have to fix to that? How do we have to advertise it? What weekend do we have to try different? That kind of stuff. Our pro rodeo, the weather got us. We brought in a $250,000 rodeo, and we had 93 degrees and 6 inches of rain the week before. We had contestants calling, worried. Thanks to the county, thanks to Layton's crew. They came in, they completely switched our arena out in 2 days, completely swapped the dirt around. All the Cowboys that came up afterwards said they've never seen that happen ever like what we did it. So, I mean, it's so much more than just the Ag Expo team working out there. The landfill steps up, the HR steps up. They just, like I said, Layton's boys are always out there doing something with our dirt or helping us fix something. But the weather got us on the pro rodeo, and it was 93 the one weekend before, and it was 63 the high of the day the next weekend. But we learned some lessons there. And we're going to come swinging again this year just because we know that's something that can take off. We've heard from the public that was a good rodeo. They loved it. They want to see it more big shows like that. And then investors came out. Like I said, we were able to do that show for $20 to come in and watch pretty much what you're going to see here after this episode. I guess what's coming up this weekend up at the circuit finals, we had those Cowboys out here riding NFR stock. We had 12 NFR horses here. We had 3 PBR bulls here, along with 4 that have been in the NFR. A Watford City first-time pro rodeo, and we're bringing in that caliber of livestock. We had Brady Mills here was riding, Rusty Wright was riding. The top of the food chain is here competing with us. So that's a really cool event. Up and coming, our motor arena cross, something they said we really couldn't do in the facility we had, kind of got some kickback. We wasn't really gaining any traction real fast. Once we kicked that show off, they said, first show, expect 200 bikes. We had 422 bikes show up. Do you know how hard it is to fit 422 bikes in when you're expecting 200? But first year, knocked it out of the park. Now we're trying to figure out how do we fit 600 bikes in here. People showed up. They love the facility. People start talking. So same with our Legends race cars. We bring in those Legends race cars inside. Those guys start talking like, hey, we're racing in February. There's no other place we can race. Get your cars ready. Get up here. Let's start rocking and rolling. But it's a lot of word of mouth. People come in here. They're very, I don't know if jealous is the right word, but they're very, they're excited for what we have here. And then we get to do things that they get to come and play with us. So, I mean, there's been highs and lows, but we've always been able to come back from them, and we at least learn lessons. Like, hey, that didn't work. Let's try something different. The concerts don't work here. Ribfest is awesome. Great job for Ribfest. Any other time we try something, they're just not coming. But we still put the bands out there. We had a Nashville recording artist out there a few times last year. Stan brought it in for his show. That's a show that's just been crazy hopping. He's going to sell that out before it even happens this year. But he does the Bears and Bronx, pro rodeo caliber guys, pro rodeo horses. He brings in I bet he had 20 NFR horses there last year. He had, the top 30 guys were there throughout the weekend. So that's the thing that Stan does a awesome performance. I mean, just great performance. He'll sell that out before it even gets there this year. I guarantee it. But so that's a big hit. We do this leather and lace event that's just starting to grab some traction. It's a New Year's Eve event. We bring our sponsors in. We treat them to a nice supper, kind of roll out the red carpet for our bigger sponsors. Then we kick it off with bull riding, move into ladies bronc riding. So we got gals getting on these rank horses, getting just pile drived into the ground. And then we finish the night with bullfighting. Who doesn't love somebody getting tossed up in the air by a bull? So we have that going on. Then we finish the night with finish the night of New Year's Eve with a band at night. That event is really starting to kind of gain some traction. People are starting to realize it. We kind of modeled off the bucking ball down in Gillette, Wyoming. And like I said, it's really, those guys have come up here actually now and talked to us a few times about, and we've been able to mingle on what works for them, what works for us, and really just kind of help enhance the shows. We're working really good with the Rough Rider. Hey, what can we do that you can't do? How can we help each other? We go up there and help them with events. They come down and help us with events. We rob stuff back and forth. Like, hey, can we steal your bouncy houses? Hey, we'll take our bleachers and our panels up to you. So like I said, it's really cool and what we just the intermingling of the county too. And it's, like I said, just the forward thinking that happens around here is just amazing.
Two things, so I don't forget. I feel like you walked right into the space. And I'm going to be honest, I haven't
into a lot of stuff.
I haven't watched county commission meetings for a little bit. So if I'm stepping in something, just let's not go there. But you have mentioned several times that you're selling spaces out like beyond capacity, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And I maybe heard a little bit, is there going to be an expansion out there next year or the following year to address some of that?
Yeah. So we are looking at a phase. I guess we call it phase 2. It wasn't the phase 2 I asked for, but it is a phase 2.
Ask big or go
Yeah,
home.
right, exactly. Yeah, all they can do is tell you no. We'll try again next year. But it'll be an indoor arena. It'll actually take what we got at the old fairgrounds right now, that daily riding, daily practice kind of arena. We'll actually build that out at the expo now. So then the fairgrounds will be kind of obsolete at that point. Then we'll take everything we're doing at the fairgrounds. We'll have it available at the Ag Expo. That hopefully starts construction next spring. We'll get that built. That'll actually connect to their existing livestock hall expo.
Oh, okay.
So we can use that for pits. We can use that for livestock shows. We can bring in these national shows that keep asking to come. And then we'll have an outdoor bathroom finally. We've got that figured in there too. So you don't have to go to a porta potty or go all the way back in the building from the grandstand. And this is all getting built for that. What I hope ever shows up is the big indoor seating arena. 4,000 to 5,000 seats, U-shape arena. And we can do everything indoors anytime we want to do it. Plus we can not have to say we're sold out. So.
Well, it took us 100 years to grow out of the first facility. Not quite 100, but
64.
Close. Okay, perfect. Good job.
Fairs.
I'm glad you know that. But I think it just kind of is a very direct example of what a well thought out facility in a community looking for family friendly opportunity, how quickly you grew out of phase 1.
That's the crazy thing. I was guessing 5 to 6 years before we sold our first crowd out. Sold our first grandstand show. Did in the first month. The first fair, we were like, our derby just sold out. We're 2 days into the building and we just sold the derby out. Now what do we do? We just talked last night pretty extensively on how do we get more seats for the monster trucks? Do we bring in a third show? How do we, we're max capacity. So it's really cool that it happened that fast. It's just I wasn't ready for it. My team wasn't ready for it. So like I said, it makes some interesting challenges. We punt a lot out there, like, well, let's try this and see what happens. But yeah, it's really cool to find, and the community embracing it. They don't have to come. They don't have to come out and do this, and they do. They come out weekend after weekend. We see a lot of the same. Our concession stands are getting some of them where they already come up with their food because it's the same thing. The locals kind of thing at the coffee shop. But like I said, it's really cool to see the community embrace it and really run with it.
I think the thing on the community we forget, like our other sponsors that are out there, they wouldn't have to do a safety meeting out there. They wouldn't have to. They're already a sponsor, but they're already they try to, Jessica said earlier, they're doing safety meetings out there. They do their Christmas parties out there. They wouldn't have to do that stuff, but I think we forget about we have all these sponsors, but yet they still come out and reinvest in a building. They're already wanting to stay open, but they come out and do other things to help. Hey, we want to make sure you guys are still going, and they pay more to do all their parties and all that other stuff. And I'm sure they talk to other people, hey, you need a building, go out there. Or vice versa with Rough Ride, anywhere. I think that's what's cool to see about some of those, the community, is they are invested, but yet they still come back to do other things that cost them money besides what they're sponsoring. And I think that shows the investment that they have, in more so than we realize. It's just not Lund Oil. It's a lot of the oil companies, a lot of other things. I think you told us the other day you already had 5 Christmas parties booked so far.
We got 5 already.
And we're just sitting in October. So, that'll grow, I'm sure, because we had more last year. But, it's just to show that the other investments besides the sponsors, what these sponsors do is, I know where I sit on the foundation board and as commission, it's nice to see the reinvestments of people continually coming back, and shows what the community, and I think that had a lot to do with phase 2, we call it, is like, hey, we're it's not just a one-time hit and we're out of here. It's we want it to go. So what can we do to help besides sponsor? They do events out there and put things on. Like Lund Oil, give them a lot of credit. They sponsor our emergency what is it?
It's called the McKenzie County First Responders Appreciation Supper. So, and that'll be, I think we actually do have a date set for that, but whether it's on the calendar or not, I'm not sure. Yeah. So,
but they step up and sponsor that for all those first responders. That just shows, it's just not, but everybody's working together to get to the same goal, be successful in what they do.
Right. Well, like our farm and ranch show, you bring bulls, you set up a booth. Everybody just comes in for these different trade shows, and they all kind of a community gathering too. They're coming back.
And there's a waiting list on, you've sold that out, right? And
Farm and Ranch show is sold out at the moment until we can try to figure out how to fill some nooks and crannies there.
Okay. Yeah. Very cool. Because that's a ways off yet.
Yeah.
Well, and I think something's to be said too about your guys' staff. They're absolutely great. There's times, like you said, that there's a lot of challenges, right, that take place, whether it's the people or the space or whichever, and they always are there to accommodate no matter what. And that goes back, same thing. It takes all of us, right, to run something like this and to back each other. But even on another note, for people who haven't been to the Ag Expo, make sure and stop by up there during business hours, because usually there's always somebody there. If they have time, they'll absolutely give you a tour, or talk to Bonita or whoever within the Economic Development Committee, and they can get you on that community tour so you can tour all of our wonderful spaces in McKenzie County.
And if you want to know when the next community tour and orientation is, it is December 4th. Yes. So you can absolutely find it on our events calendar, which is RocketCityEvents.com.
Yes.
Thank you, Jess. I appreciate that. The one thing I was going to say, because you both touched on it, is in a community, well, let me back up, in a society where transactional relationships are getting to be more and more common, this is still a community of relationships. So the layered support, and it wouldn't happen, that layered support would not happen if it wasn't for your exceptional team and the culture you have out there. And I had a pin on this, and I've had it for a while. Do you want to talk a little bit about your team?
Yeah.
And I called it Team Ag Expo, and also the county team.
Yeah. So the team out there, there's not 10 of us now. So we got to make sure I get them all counted here. The 9 underneath of me are exceptional. I get to sit at my desk and put my feet up all day, and they take care of everything. It's pretty cool to watch them work. They're all getting it figured out. With 9 of them comes 10 of us, when I put myself in there, I guess, with 10 of us, the idea brainstorming meetings get pretty wild and crazy. Even I have to kind of tone them back, and I'm usually the squirrel in that room. But what they can do is nothing but incredible. We're going to go from a 250 person banquet this weekend to an 800 seat church service Sunday morning. You don't flip that with one person. You don't do that in half an hour. We just flipped a room here the other day. We went from in the classroom right into a wedding. 400-person wedding that night. Did it all after hours, come in, do it all. Not only that, then we got about 12 other part-timers we use that come in and help us during events, so to kind of take the burden off of us. Not only that, but I mean, when there's only 10 of you and you got to run a class act show like we do, you need some backup. So we got 10 of them. They come in, they help us out throughout the year, which is awesome. And then, like I said, touched on before, Leighton's crew with the road maintenance. Joe Comer out there. He's always out there. Whenever I need a truck for something, call him up. He's coming. Rick Schreiber, anytime we need at the landfill, we need workers to equipment. They're always Johnny on the spot. Our HR team has always come out and kind of bail us out of a few different things. Volunteers. It's a little bit tricky during the county with the volunteers, but that's where the foundation comes into play. They can volunteer for the foundation events. We get different local groups that come on and help us with different things. But like I said, it's a community team as a whole, and then my core other 9 they knock it out of the park on a weekly basis. Right now we got pumpkin picking palooza going on. That's every weekend, all weekend long. They're sacrificing their time at home with their families to make everybody else's family have fun. So I can't thank them enough ever on what we have to sacrifice with our families so that everybody else can have a good time. And then we go into the haunted maze. I mean, that's going to be everybody, all hands. We call it all hands on deck. We do these events. It's like we're blackout zones. You're not taking a vacation. We need you here. So that'll be our next all hands on deck night where we'll be running the maze with haunted people and haunted things. And you got to have ticket takers. You got to have people making sure no one's where they're not supposed to be. You got to have make sure the alcohol's still in them so that they keep coming back. I mean, it's sad to say, but beer helps us out there quite a bit too. But no, like I said, it's important to have the team, and we have a team that they're locked in, ready to go. I mean, whatever I can come up with to really make them squirrel their heads a little bit, they take it they just go with it. Like, okay, let's try it. And then I come in and like, oh, we need that table move 3 feet to the left. And we got to move 14 of them now. Okay. And they just do it. So like I said, it's really a team effort out there. Like I said, I just get to be the face of everything, and it's really them guys that are making me look good. So.
Cool. Yeah, you do have a great team. I'm always impressed when I'm squatting in a camping spot for 3 days and Rhonda finally finds me. Still has a smile on her face. Yeah. She's awesome. Okay, I want to put this out here because Howdy knows this. He and I are both probably, I think you are, for sure tomorrow, I know you are. We're headed up to a meeting that we're hosting at the Rough Rider Center, the Western Dakota Energy Association. That association is the local political subdivisions, cities, schools, counties, townships that are impacted by oil and gas development. We're going up there, their annual meetings today and tomorrow. And we oftentimes have to, for some reason, defend ourselves. We receive gross production tax in lieu of property tax from oil production because we are not able to assess property tax on oil activities. And so when we talk to communities who say, man, we wish we had an Ag Expo, or man, we wish we had a Rough Rider Center, and our responsibility to that revenue stream, because it's paid by the oil industry, it's 5% of every barrel of oil they sell. Our responsibility and stewardship to those dollars is not to supplant other taxes. It's not to, it's not to save it for a rainy day, because we actually aren't allowed to do that. But the ways we leverage it, I think you can speak to this, has always been focused on the employees that the industry needs to harvest the eggs from the golden goose. So Howdy and I would be here no matter what. Our ranches are here. Our generations are tied here. Kubal, you're first generation here in McKenzie County. Jess, what do the investments in these facilities mean to employee attraction and employee retention? Like, what would it look like if we were still, our 1,200 people living in man camps, doing the things temporarily? What would that look like? Talk a little bit about what these investments mean to you all.
Right. So I grew up in a small town. So 1,200 people, perfect for me. But I guess one of the big things, right, is now I have children and they want to be able to, I don't have a farm, I don't have a ranch. Unfortunately, that was my goal eventually, but I moved to North Dakota, and so here I am embracing the oil and gas industry and then also the local farming and ranching. But I guess one of my big things is I just want my family to be here and to be able to be comfortable and to enjoy the community and the scenery of the county and everything. I mean, North Dakota is beautiful. There's no getting around that. A lot of people kind of have this bad, it's freezing here, and which it does get a little cold, but that's okay. I mean, we can get past that, right? When we have facilities that we can go to and attend world-class monster truck shows or, livestock shows or different things like that, and still be educating our youth on the things today that are important, right? Even just like where your milk comes from. That's very important for children to understand so that we don't lose that, right? Because if we have no cattle, whether it's beef cattle, dairy cattle, whichever, we have no food, right? Or, I guess we can eat Howdy's wheat or plants or whatever, right? But, just understanding all of those things. So when we talk, we pretty much always go back to your family, right? Your kids, the employees and stuff. And I think another thing, something to be said, like these companies, or when people say, oh, well, McKenzie County, they just get all the oil and gas money, right? They're putting it back into the community. And you can see that. You can see it whether you're driving down Main Street. You can see it if you go to the Ag Expo. You can see it if you go to the Sportsman's Complex. Like, it is a clean community that is, built even outside of the money from the oil and gas by the people. And that's what we love here. So I just think it's really important.
Yeah. And then I came in 2003, came up here with a spraying crew. Jay Sorensen had a spraying company in Keene. Needed a truck driver, ended up here in 2003. So I seen it when Watford was going to be 800 people. Mm-hmm. Then I seen it rise all the way through there. Well, when it was going to be 800 people, I wasn't going to start a family here. It was nothing. We could farm and ranch and that kind of stuff. But, it wasn't, without having the farm and ranch, it wasn't going to hold you here. But then it finally started booming. Got the Rough Rider Center, got the new schools. Now the wife and I, we're never leaving. We're set. We've set roots here now. We've got a few head of livestock. We've got a funny farm going on out there. We're set. I got a job now that I would never in my wildest dreams I was going to have. We went from owning a trucking company to now running a facility. It was like, well, that's a different face. Mm-hmm. But it's just the things that my daughters get to do. They get to play any sport they want. Gymnastics to basketball to soccer teams. Things that we never even had growing up when I was growing up. They get a rodeo. They can do whatever they want here. Not only that, but now we're not driving to an hour or 2, 3, 4, 5 hours to see anything fun. It's all in our backyard. We're getting a semi-pro hockey teams coming in. We don't have to drive to Minot or Bismarck to see that. We get to go to the Rough Rider and see it. My daughter, just to point on Brock a little bit, we work with the Rough Rider. My daughter was mad that they kept breaking up the fights at the last one.
Oh, she wanted to let that roll.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Perfect.
So we got boxing matches going on here too, just not
on the ice.
About them. Yeah. But it's just community oriented. Because tonight we're going to go to the fire department in town has a pancake supper. We're going to go there. We're going to know everybody there just about. So you still got that big city life in a small community feel, I guess, is that you just don't have. We've looked around everywhere. You just don't have that anywhere else like it is here.
I think Howdy was back by this time too, and obviously you were Kubal as well. But we moved back in 2007, and Highway 85 was still 2-lane between Williston and Watford City. It was the deadliest highway in the United States at the time. And I remember this very specifically. My son was born in 2008, and you could not buy ice cream and get checked out of the grocery store before your ice cream melted. And so you think of the simplest things as a child growing up. I almost feel like the kids in that generation kind of paid their penance on the front end because they were so inhibited by any quality of life. Like, the gymnastics club had that rented that building in the old fairgrounds. I still remember when we pulled all of that up and moved into the Rough Rider Center. I'm sorry, everybody, you need to hear this because we paid our dues. There were mouse droppings just all over the place. Like there were sacrifices, and there were a lot of, blood, sweat, tears to survive. We were running. Kids would show up for school, and instead of 5 sections of kindergarten, they needed 8 because the kids just were coming out of the woodwork, and everybody's adaptability and willing to, and maybe that's why we do all, just huddle to the center and lay out a quick, rough plan and some audibles and run with it and just go. But I wanted to spend some time reminding everybody, listeners, why we've invested in these facilities. And we understand that we have a revenue stream that's unique to us. But again, it's in lieu of our property tax. So if you want to take our GPT away, maybe the industry would rather not pay that 5% tax because it's supposed to be for local in lieu of property tax. I just think it's an important time in our history right now to continue to protect that, defend that, and be able to utilize it moving forward to continue to operate the Rough Rider Center and the Ag Expo and continue those ongoing operations, that kind of thing.
I think to go back to what we use it for too, I think some of the stuff that gets forgotten is we have helped with the housing building in McKenzie County. We have done some. I give a lot of credit to Daniel and the JDA. And everybody else that was involved in it, but we came with that program of, hey, we'll help $50,000 if you live in that house for 5 years. It's basically, here's $50,000. But we're investing more than just in the buildings. We do a lot of infrastructure, like our roads. I mean, if you want to drive somewhere, go around the other parts of the county and drive on their county roads. Yeah, we spend money on our roads, but why? We have a lot of traffic. And our sportsman club out there is that it's kind of not forgot about, but it is. We shoot archery in the same building that they had gymnastics in. The kids did back in the day. That's that building. They'd come in, it's freezing out, and they had the heaters on top, radiant heat. Now they have a building you can be a member of. You can go out there at 2:00 in the morning and shoot archery year round, 40 below or not. And I don't remember if I heard it right, but I think it's over 100 kids now we have in archery. I mean, it's the growth out there, the shooting, they have clay pigeons. And I look at, that's another industry we forget about. We got people that love guns. And I have the fortunate, I rent some state school land, and what that has done for people being out there, because you have the right to do that, I feel we have we've had enough fires around McKenzie County, not to bring up a topic like that, but we've had some major fires. And we've taken that, and they've went out to that shooting range out there, and they can shoot handguns, they can shoot rim fires, they can center fires. They have all that out there. Is another thing that the county invested in too, because we're investing in the community, the people in the community. We want to give them something else to do that, because not everybody's the same way. Not everybody likes to shoot a gun, but there's a lot of people that do. Not everybody wants to ride a horse. Not everybody wants to show a steer. Not everybody wants to do that. And I feel around here, we've invested with our GPT money. Yes, the buildings stick out. I get that. But if you drive around the community and look at the housings that have been put up and the growth of the city growing every which way direction, that's because of we've tried to help people that just want to move here for a job. They need a place to live. And so we've helped with that. It's just not the buildings. There's other things that we use that for that I think sometimes gets forgot about, because they see the facilities and they're like, you're wasting your money. Well, if you sat down, and I can't give a number, and I don't know if you could, the dollars we have spent into the housing programs in the city, it's millions. I mean, it's a lot more so. And we haven't messed with our property tax. We're not raising them every year to keep these buildings open. We want people to live here, but we want them to, okay, you got to pay a little bit of property tax. We don't want to raise that to where it's a big chunk of your paycheck every year. And so we're trying to do other things besides just buildings, with going off what you were talking about, our gross production tax in our meeting we have tomorrow or today and tomorrow out there. So,
well, and with that, I remember when it took you 3.5 hours to get to town. You'd hit 23 and you were backed up on Highway 23 for 3.5 hours. We'd start planning our days around, let's go get groceries at noon because the traffic ain't there. So I mean, just the infrastructure that had to get built to make this the way it is.
In 2013, I was a part of Rural Leadership North Dakota from 2011 to 2013. And we had a seminar in Watford here. And it was the only reason we were able to have it is a new hotel came online. And right when they started building, I called and said, when are you going to be open? Can we get a block of rooms? And they said, yeah, actually. So that block was the first block of rooms. Like we were staying there the first week they were open. And our class, there were 24 of us. And we went out to Tobacco Garden, had a meal there, and then Peggy lined us up with some pontoons, and we got to enjoy the lake. And on the way back in, we were coming in, and like you talked about, Kubal, 1806, getting on to 23, and they were like, "This is not real," and I'm like, "Nope, it is real. Every single day. So anyway,
yeah.
War stories. It's important to keep track of your history because then it helps you appreciate your position today with thoughtful development, thoughtful investment.
Well, look at the North Petroleum Council. They meet here and they bring in how many people are, I
don't actually know the number.
You're involved in it big time.
Yeah, it's a lot. I think it was almost 500 people the first day that we were there this year. I think it was up to 500.
They reported 100 walk-ups. So they were planning for 400.
Right. So I think there was,
So the states, when they're coming out here in the heart of it and doing their meetings, they also see what they need.
Well, and they come here too because they know how important McKenzie County is and stuff. And same thing just for like employee retention and just community retention, how important that is. So they love it here. I mean, any person that comes here, especially for that event, they're just like, wow, you guys between... You know what I mean? Even the housing, like you said, has grown so much and stuff. The housing, the facilities, the food, the people, right? It's great. And it's wonderful that they continue to come back here because they could host it elsewhere. But, being the heart of the Bakken and having everything that we do here, it's hard to find elsewhere. So,
yeah. Well, and like Lund Oil, they're sponsored, not just for the Ag Expo. They're sponsors of everything. You see Lund Oil everywhere, which is awesome. They've really stepped up in the community. But because of those, they brought in the bison to the Bakken. They brought, 3 busloads of kids out of NDSU, brought them out here, showed what Western North Dakota is about. Hey, come out here with your degrees. Move out here. Let's work together. Since that, I've had 3 gals call trying to figure they've kept up with us they've been out to a couple events. They drive out from Fargo in a carload. They go like, what do we need to do to be a part of this community? Just that kind of sponsorship that brings out people in, like, how do we come here? And, and then all of a sudden now the counties, the JDAs doing the down payment assistance. It is super cool with what everybody's got invested in, how it's kind of taken off.
When I think you know this, and I'm not sure how we're doing on time, Brock, and we are getting a little off topic, but still, what we are realizing through the county's investment, and what I was going to say is that, 10 to 15 years ago, when Watford City made its play on the opportunity to provide infrastructure to grow and take advantage, like that takes a lot of front end investment. So the city was certainly bonded to the point where it couldn't then come behind and I call it plugging the holes in the boat. The county's been able to do that with discretionary revenue. So we see a problem here. The county is very nimble, mobile, and can react to it. So when you talk about rooftop creation, Howdy, I don't know the dollars invested. I'm guessing the county's probably invested somewhere around $6 million in rooftop creation incentives. But what we do know is now the recommitment and the reallocation for the housing down payment assistance just now, because it's been just about a year, 9 months, just now that program is starting to garner the attention of builders. So we're seeing builders coming from outside the area interested in how to participate in it because it provides the opportunity for them to have some risk protection on their investment when they build those spec houses, those non-custom agreements. So some of these things, the investment takes time to see the ROI on it, but I think the county's been really thoughtful on where to invest in ways that are meaningful for the long-term sustainability of the community. So always the goal, always be looking 5, 10, 20 years ahead. So.
Right.
Okay, Brock, what did we miss?
Upcoming events, maybe things to look forward to at the expo.
Upcoming events. And then I'm also going to plug this.
Oh,
You should talk about that
yeah.
program.
So we got.
No, you should totally talk about that program.
So we actually we are just got approved for a livestock enrichment program. So it'll be able to take these kind of urban kids that don't have a place to house an animal and show for the county fair. We will be bringing in kids that don't have them privileges. They get to be a part of 4-H. They got it. They have to join 4-H.
Have to be in 4-H.
We're gonna help them get started. We're gonna buy them a lamb or a goat. They're gonna come out to the expo. It's gonna have some time commitment. They'll be out there 7 weekends before the county fair. They have to be out there for 6 of those. They've got to water and feed their critter in the morning. They got to do it again at night. Saturdays mornings from 8 to noon, they've got to be out there because we're going to teach them how to halter break the animal. We're going to teach them how to wash the animal. We're going to teach them how to show the animal. You know, we're going to give them the whole thing on this is how you take care of it. I mean, we're going to teach them responsibilities they didn't even know they were aware of. And then they're going to be able to come back. They're going to be able to go get some sponsorship for that at Project, you know, kind of help pay for some feed, help that kind of stuff. They'll be able to sell, and then they'll be able to come into the county fair. We're going to be able to participate with the rest of the kids, showing their project that they put all the time and effort into. So that we're just unveiling that. Actually, probably jumped a little. Well, by the time this airs, it'll be out there.
By the 21st.
Yeah. So we're just unveiling that program now. That's gonna be really cool. We're gonna start with 10 kids. We're gonna have 5 goats, 5 lambs. We're super excited about this opportunity we're bringing into the community again. Some other upcoming stuff, Pumpkin Pickin' Palooza will happen one more weekend after this. And then we'll go to the Haunted Maze. We will be working towards the Coy Hepper Memorial. We got that coming Thanksgiving weekend. Our Christmas parties are really going to start rocking and rolling then. The Friends of NRA will be happening at this time yet, the weekend of this. So we got a couple banquets yet. Pheasants Forever. I better not say that one because I don't know when that one is.
That's this weekend, but it's by the time of day.
Yeah, it'll be done and over with. Let's see. Then we got Leather and Lace coming up. We've got Mistletoe Market. We're going to do a Christmas vendor show out there with pictures with Santa. We're working with. This one's probably a little bit too early to unveil, but I'm going to do it anyways. We're working with 4 photographers in the community. We're going to try and set up 5 different cool little stations. Come out, get your 15-minute Christmas photos done. So start looking for that. Next spring, we're going to hold a Homestead Fest. The Prairie Roots Homestead. Oh boy, I'm going to get in trouble for this one. Prairie Roots Homestead Summit. So we're going to bring in people from all over the world, all over the nation, come out and, hey, this is how you kind of survive, you know, if something were to happen. The people in general are starting to come back to their roots, you know, their grandparents' roots is what I say. We grew up doing this. We grew up raising our own animals, butchering our own animals, you know, canning our own food, growing our own food. Well, now the world since COVID has really kind of switched back around that. So we're going to have a summit where we bring in all these people to kind of teach you how to do that kind of stuff. So that'll be a new event next year. And then, oh boy, the list is endless. Book the monster trucks again. They're coming again. We got the Arena Cross coming in January. We got the race cars coming in February. Farm and Ranch shows up in February with Bull Days. That's right at the cusp of being booked out. We got the Rec Show. That is booked out. We've been bringing dog shows in the last 2 years. Start watching for this one. We got a really cool show coming out of Florida.
A dog show.
It's
like
not a
working
dog
trials?
No.
Or, okay.
It used to be dog shows.
Yeah, we've had circus kind of dog acts. Now
we went something totally different.
Okay.
Yep. This will eat a dog. But they're coming out of Florida. I'm going to leave you with that little teaser.
Okay, cool.
So we got that. The Rec Show is going to be booked out again. Kylie works, so that's Kylie's baby, and we'll have 65 campers, 30 boats, pile of everything else out there. Yeah, county fair is getting ready. Stars, Stripes, and Fair Nights. We already got a theme.
Stars, Stripes, and Fair Nights.
Yep, we'll have a ranch rodeo. We'll have the derby back and a rodeo performance of some sort. Again, for that. Our numbers last year, we had 90 steers, boy, oh boy, 80 hogs, 100 and some lamb and goats. So that'll be a huge hit again. The carnival's coming back.
Pro Rodeo will be back.
Pro Rodeo's coming back.
Is that going to be Memorial Day
It will be
weekend
that
again?
Friday and Saturday.
Okay.
Yep. It's
So
kinda how we
Memorial
fit in the
weekend.
circuit. Yep.
Okay.
And the cool thing about that is we're the highest paid rodeo 2 weeks before and 2 weeks after. So that's where we're getting the big names to come up here and try to get some extra points for the NFR. Yeah, like I said, there's just, boy, oh boy, you put me on a spot here. There's a long list of stuff. I should have had this all wrote down.
So we build a fairgrounds and we operate an Ag Expo.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
all year long.
Right.
Let me go back because this is going to drop on October 21st. So what people really should key into the last weekend of October, Halloween, is the Haunted Maze.
The Haunted Maze. We're going to try a Haunted Maze. So it'll be Thursday night, Friday night. If there's any corn left standing because everybody's running through it, and we'll do it Saturday again too.
Okay, very cool. And then I just want to point this out to everybody. Do not go to Mexico the week of Thanksgiving. Stay in Watford City because we have the Chambers Parade of Lights
Yes.
and the Coy Hepper Memorial,
Yep.
which is a fantastic event.
Oh, yeah.
So don't leave town. Make sure
We got
you
the big
stay.
buck contest for the fire department that night too.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, that is
I
a
want to. We got to throw that out there for
full
the
weekend.
fundraiser for our local fire department.
Yep, so don't
So-
leave town. Halloween weekend, here's what we hope, that the boys football will be in a playoff game on Friday. We have the Ag Expo events. We have the chamber events on Main Street, the Big Buck contest. And also, it is the early release premiere of My Town
Right.
on
Yes.
Saturday the 1st. So don't leave town that weekend. Don't leave town Thanksgiving weekend. Just don't leave town.
Yeah. We got it all here.
Yeah, it's all here. Okay, so that gets us kind of through the next couple months. Where can people find all of these events and the details on them?
Yeah, so the Watford City events
.com.
calendar is perfect. Oh, yeah. You can come to our site, mcagexpo.com.
Okay.
We keep our events kind of the next couple months. We kind of keep the flyers on there. And then just give us a call at 842-EXPO. I mean, we'll answer questions all day long. Or like I said, business hours, come on out.
Right.
Somebody's always out there. I can give you a 15-minute tour, and I can give you a 4.5-hour tour, depending on which one you want.
Sure,
So,
absolutely.
Take them both.
Yeah. And I think probably, Jess, we sort of let you slip in under the radar. You are the marketing director, but you do so much more, not just with Lund Oil, but general community alignment with all the things you line out. What last words do you have for the listening population out there?
I guess our biggest thing is just the opportunities are endless in McKenzie County, and we want people to know that. And on top of that, we're resilient. Like, you can throw any change at us and we'll take it head on. And here we are. We're still standing. So bring it on.
The third largest oil producing county in the United States, and we survived COVID and came out on the backside sprinting.
Right.
Absolutely.
What's
How-
COVID?
Right. Thank you. It's a cold.
Yeah.
I heard it's a cold.
Yeah.
My Amish friends never got it, so it didn't exist.
Howdy, what do you want the listening public to just know as we wrap this thing up?
I guess I got to spin off Jess still that, when things come about, if there's an issue, we all put our heads together. We don't try to fight it one-on-one. We get together as a community and we try to solve the problem, find a solution, and get through it together as a team. I guess that's what I want everybody to understand. It says McKenzie County, Watford City, however you want to word it. No matter how you paint the picture, we always work as a team because one person can't do it on itself. And I, like Lund Oil, the services they do, and I got to give props to them for the agriculture community and the oil industry. But no offense, I'm with the agriculture side, but what they provide for the agriculture, oil, gas, whatever you need, call them. They're willing to work with you. And I've done many businesses with them on stuff that I do on the farm and ranch all the time. And you talk about staff, great staff out there too. But we all work together, I guess. And that's how we did that way back in the day when we had 1,500 people. And that's what I probably say it too much. We haven't changed and we're at 18,000, however you want to put the city and the county together, the numbers. We still work together. And that's what I hope people understand that and see that. What we're doing out here as a county, as a city, we're not doing it just for the county, and we're doing it for everybody that lives in the surrounding area. Alexander, Arnegard, Keene, Grassy Butte, all them, Cartwright, all them areas. we're helping them all out, and we're all one group, no matter how we paint the picture. And that's what I want people to understand is it's a team effort out here.
People first.
Yep.
Yep.
Very cool. Brock, round 2. What did we miss?
We got it all.
Awesome. I want to thank you guys. This was fun. I hope you had so much fun that you'll say yes next time we come asking. Brady Lund, we miss you.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was coming until last night at about 5 o'clock till he chickened out. Yeah.
That's on my side.
Catch him on my town.
Yep, catch him on my town. Okay, cool. I just want to thank everybody. I love the Ag Expo. It is such an asset for our community. The organizations, the people that support it, thank you guys so much. It wouldn't be what it is without you. And so everybody listening, get out and get into that facility, enjoy all the programming there is out there for you. So thank you so much. Until next time.